Hey, good morning, comrade. You're listening to WHIV LP New Orleans 102.3. This is Good Morning, Comrade. Jeff and Robert in the studio. Helps if you turn the faders up.
Did the on-air light lie to us? Because it says on air.
No, I turned the light on, but I forgot to turn the faders up. So looks when the faders are all the way down, you don't have any audio. It's just weird how this works. Technology is incredible. I definitely don't trust random lights on a board. So, yeah,
I mean that's
or like over a microphone or whatever. But anyway, what's going on, man?
I don't know. I'm over here a little... I'm not hungover, but I went to wrestling last night.
You went to You've been busy, man. You go on one weekend to Talladega, and you go in the next weekend to wrestling. What's going on?
Wrestling was kind of like a spur-of-the-moment thing. It was really... what's up?
You went to... SmackDown.
Lay smack at the down.
The World Wrestling Entertainment.
I know. I feel kind of bad about it.
Well, Vince is out, but like Vince's stink still remains.
You could tell. Well, it was funny. I saw my boss there because I guess
he's a wrestling fan too.
No. I work for like one of the divisions of public safety in the city, and they had to make sure that everything was safe. So I was like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "Hey," because I was sitting. Anybody who's ever, if you go to Pelicans games or whatever, so I was sitting fourth row, not on the floor.
What? Oh, okay.
Yeah, not floor. Like fourth row floor is bad. I hate that. I've had those seats. I hate that.
Because you got people standing right in front of you.
Mm-hmm. And then and so everybody's standing up, get down. Then security is like, "Everybody sit down." It feels like you're in a game of like musical chairs, like you're in like red light, green light.
Yeah.
But so it was if you've ever been to a Pelicans game, it's the first it's the first row, not feet on the floor. And so we were sitting ramp, and we had and I got to see all the backstage production stuff. It was funny. I was like talking to roadies.
That's cool.
That's why I saw my boss, because he was like back there making sure stuff was safe. And then I was like talking to roadies and like the wrestlers, so wrestlers would do a run in. I didn't know this because I've never. It's weird because I always. So my thing with wrestling is either I want first two rows on the floor or I don't want to go. I hate anything other than that. These were cool seats though, because while not being like super close, we were close enough to like all the production stuff. So like wrestlers would run in, they run in like, "Oh my God, here comes Macho Man from the back." And he beats the guy. So he'd come in and get beat up or whatever. And then when they come out, instead of running back down the ramp, they'll come around. And so we had just wrestlers and roadies just like hanging out. Like,
they talk to fans during the show?
They do that all the time. They do. Because it's like, what are you gonna do?
Kayfabe is truly dead.
Well, I mean, there's some people who are into kayfabe, but if I'm like a grown man who's like sitting there, like I had a couple of wrestlers talk to me. It was funny, and then like roadie guys were talking about. It was just so funny how ad hoc everything is. They're like literally impact driving, like putting sets together, like
in the middle of the show
during commercial.
Oh my God,
yeah, and
that sounds dangerous.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt came out and did a thing, so they had to like do a spooky swamp.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, you could hear them like
a lot of like, oh man,
and they're like, okay, the spooky swamp is now up, and like cue the smoke.
So one time when I was in high school, actually, I was a part of a halftime show, Super Bowl halftime show, right? And like it was just like a whole bunch of like running an entire stage out onto the field, everybody getting in position, and all kinds of like completely ridiculous construction stuff that has to happen in like 5 minutes. Crazy. I imagine that's what that's kind of like, right?
Right. But you could tell the people who are like, because there's like security, the pyro guys who are contracted, they're not WWE employees.
Yeah.
Because they have to be a license in that state.
Yeah.
The pyro guys run
also,
the pyro.
And they're probably union in that state most of the time too.
I guess. I mean, I doubt the Louisiana guys.
Maybe not Louisiana, but
then you could see the actual WDBU like production people who are like getting yelled at by Stephanie McMahon.
That's wild.
You could tell because they're just so pressed.
Yeah.
They're just like running around. It's just like this like, because you've got all these like, you've seen a rock show before. Anybody that's like not like you know what a roadie looks like.
Yeah.
And then you've got like this like
girl
cute,
boss.
You've got like this like real cute, like she's got like her hair in a side pony and like a pencil skirt on with a clipboard and a headset on, just like running around furiously. And I'm like, oh, that's like the girl who just like graduated from college and got this job. And then she's getting yelled at right now by Stephanie McMahon. Like, you know, that's what's happening. Mm-hmm. And that was fun. And watching little kids like be amazed that like grown people are screaming and yelling, because the little kids are like into it, but then they're like looking around, all these adults are like, why are you here? Like, I don't understand, these are weird people.
Well, they're not wrong.
Got to see, I don't know, I wasn't that excited to go. The person I went with like wanted to go. I was like, all right, we'll go. I'm more excited if we go to that if we do end up going at a hard time.
The NWO,
I want to go to
NWA
that
show.
Yeah. I'm really terrified of tickets of that because I didn't jump on it soon.
Dean got tickets. They're not going to be great, but it's fine.
Go then. We got to see. I'm really excited about the Sami Zayn push. Is nice. Because even though he's like a comedy wrestler, it's nice.
He doesn't have to be.
He's a good burning guy. Yeah, he doesn't have to be, but I think they'd have to change his character completely.
Right.
They'd have to go back to like some form of El Generico. Best match of the night was. It was whatever Bad Bailey is with now. She's like Damage Squad or Damage Control. Yeah. It was weird watching it from somebody who doesn't like. I don't watch the product anymore.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, it's Bailey and her like minions.
Dakota Kai and Io Shirai.
Okay, thank you. And then it was the Tank Girl. Like, that's her whole gimmick.
Shotzi Blackheart.
Thank you. I'm so glad you're on this. And they rolled.
I don't even really watch it that much though.
Yeah, and that was the best match. And then there was a good. If you're into flippy stuff. Rey Mysterio and Ricochet like did a thing.
Okay.
Which I like that. I like flippy lucha things. Mm-hmm. So I'm a spot monkey.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's enough wrestle talk.
That's enough wrestling talk. Thank you for thank you. It's the
big
shout out.
Big shout out to Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
Yeah.
Supporting small businesses last night.
Yeah, he went to so first off, he's a wrestler. He's a wrestler who also like has a like gaming brand to him, like a gaming like side project or something.
I think he's like the first wrestler that I can think of. There might be somebody else that's like seriously taken gaming like seriously, like done like a like I'm gonna do.
He works for the new G4.
Really, I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
I think he works for the new G4, which is like
your girl.
My girl. Who's my girl?
It's technically my girl.
Yeah, your girl. I mean, maybe she's my girl too. Okay, yeah.
Kana-chan does. She used to. She was when she wrestled in Japan. She also worked for Xbox
game developing company.
Yeah,
she has a pretty dope YouTube channel too, actually.
But I think she's the first person to. I mean, no, Austin Creed. I think he's the first person to do like gaming kind of seriously and try to monetize it as a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
Because like I didn't know this, but he kind of cracked open the door. Like all these guys game. These guys and gals in the non-binary pals. They all game, and it makes total sense because they're on the road so often. Apparently, I read...
You got to do something if it's not going out to the bars and destroying your body.
Yeah, exactly. I read your boy has a whole... who's an old guy? Randy Orton has a whole, like, setup. Like, whenever they're on a bus or a plane, he has, like, a whole portable PlayStation 5.
That's crazy.
Like, setup. And he
I'm imagining, like, wrestlers on, like, a tour, like, bus or whatever, just, like, playing, like, Overwatch or whatever.
Apparently his Elden Ring character is stupid. Like he's like game plussed it like twice. His levels are just like he's just like he just stomps the game because he just plays it all day because he's a family, like you said. Like he's not out there at the bars. He's not like chasing ring rats. He's
if you think about like what wrestlers looked like from like the 1980s and 90s, there were these just like dad looking guys who could just like definitely beat you up. But they weren't always, unless they were like, that was their gimmick. They weren't always like these big shredded dudes like you have now all the time. You just had dudes that looked like they worked and
you're 100%
drove
right.
a truck all day or something.
You're 100% right because I did get like a twinge of like, what on earth? And I know it's just a Friday night, and this isn't like Super SmackDown, Extreme Rules, pay-per-view, whatever. But I'm like, the main event of a Friday night live show is Austin Theory and the Matt Riddle. And I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, I guess. And I'm like, okay. But like Austin Theory is, I don't like Matt Riddle, but I like Austin Theory because he's just like old school pro wrestler, like Get Heat.
Yeah, he's got
I
it.
really like.
Yeah. Anyway, you mentioned Austin Creed. He's a gamer, and he went out to supported a local business. Yeah. He went to Sea Cave.
Small Business Friday
and
night.
Apparently was like rolling people up in Street Fighter Alpha 2 or something.
What a cool guy, man. He's so cool. Like, I remember his, I watched, I think it was him on the Jericho podcast. He talked about
Chris Jericho.
His first, like, it was like he was trying to get, it wasn't a wrestling school, but he was trying to like work for a promotion, and he like showed up with like a legit resume of like, oh, these are the places I've worked, and he showed up in a suit, and they were just like, who is
this guy?
They're like, like, throw that in the garbage.
Yeah.
Get your gear on.
Where's your boots?
Just like, get in the ring.
Yeah.
And that will be your interview.
Why don't you throw a punch?
Right. He's such a dork. He's such a nerd.
So while you were out having fun watching wrestling last night or something,
tell me what's going on in the room.
I was I studied the Blade.
That's awesome.
Also, I watched the Herschel Walker and Raphael Warnock debate, and I got to tell you something.
You took the hit, so we.
Look, somebody's got to keep this show going. But it was largely like unremarkable. Apparently, like Warnock doesn't have that dog in him in the sense
of course
that
he doesn't.
He didn't like go after Herschel Walker for his like paying for abortions and all this other business. He's doing the lame Democrat, like when they go low, we go high sort of thing, which is just like that's how you get L's in a lot,
I guess I can understand though, because the only smart thing that Herschel Walker's done in this whole campaign is put the bar on the floor for his own performance.
Well, he cleared it last night.
Oh, he did. See, and that's the danger. Like,
he didn't poop himself on stage and didn't drool all over the place.
It reminds me a lot of. I mean, honestly, he's taken a playbook out of what's her face,
Sarah Palin
and Joe Biden. It's just like, well, as long as this person isn't like pee their pants.
Yeah.
Then
which, as far as we can tell, he didn't do, but he might have been wearing a diaper, but who knows?
What else happened, though? You were talking about
he, at one point, and there's an entire article written on this, Herschel Walker chastised over prop by Georgia debate moderator. Prop? What kind of prop could you bring to a debate?
I'm going to say a football.
Well, that would make sense. Or maybe remember Herschel Walker.
Helmet.
A squishy helmet, or if you remember Herschel Walker from back in the day, actually not even that long ago, like 4 years ago or something like that, 3 years ago, maybe even more recently, he tried to start an MMA career at 50. So if you'd brought gloves or whatever, maybe that's something they could have brought. I don't know, but no, even better. Raphael, I'm sorry. So at one point in the debate, Raphael Warnock says, one thing I have not done, because Herschel Walker has done this in the past, I have never pretended to be a police officer, and I've never threatened a shootout with the police. In response, Herschel Walker pulls out a prop badge, and he says, I am work with many police officers. So that's a weird thing that happened. There was also, this is the one moment that I think people might remember from this is that Herschel Walker did just decide, and then right after this, by the way, it was kind of wild. The guy from the debate, one of the moderators, is like, now, Mr. Walker, we discussed this before, no props. So, apparently he had planned this.
Broke the rules. You can't. Yeah.
He had planned, instead of getting into the situation, or instead of saying why in the hell do you have a prop badge here? Why are you impersonating a police officer on stage live in this debate? They were they were wagging their finger at Herschel Walker for breaking the rules and not letting him make a complete idiot of himself on stage. They kind of put the bumpers up for him, even. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's what happens. Like, I just, to reiterate, the smartest thing he ever did was say, I'm not smart.
Yeah, well, that's true.
That's because it doesn't matter. An American, like, Trump ripped the Band-Aid off of American politics, and Democrats are just finally catching up. But, I mean, I'm not like, Warnock is not, anywhere close to my favorite dude.
They don't have that dog in him either. He just doesn't want to fight.
But, like, in that point, like, I don't know what you want him to do. It's kind of like, remember when Bernie was in the debate and like how mad I used to get at Bernie
for not being a killer,
for not having that dog in him. But it's like at some point you have to just dance with the girl that you took to prom. And you're like, well, this is your guy. At this point, he's not going to change. Like the things that you love about him, and I'm not saying I love Warnock, but I'm just comparing him. Like the things that got him here, it's too late to change. And so you just got to run the plays.
There was another incident. This is the other thing that really jumped out to me. They were talking about healthcare and insulin specifically. And like Warnock does the thing is like, yeah, people should get insulin. It's, people with diabetes should be able to get insulin. And like the thing that Herschel Walker is like, yeah, people should eat right. They should be eating right. Like people with diabetes, they don't need insulin. They need to eat right.
We could just
they'll just die without the insulin.
We could do both. So let's ask Herschel Walker. Is he?
How do you eat right if you're dead?
I'm just saying, is he open to? I mean, my question would be like, I agree, sir. So are you saying that we should open up?
No
food stamps to SNAP program to every single American.
No,
and just everybody, rich, poor, in between, should get a card that has X amount of dollars on it that they can spend on fresh, healthy food.
Yeah,
in America. Oh, we don't want to do that.
Oh no, we don't want to do that. And then the final thing, which was awesome, is that like Walker was talking about like struggling Georgians and how like Warnock was like more connected to the Washington than Georgia or whatever, like the classic thing that you do if you're running against an incumbent senator. And when asked about the question of a minimum wage, Walker basically said that there shouldn't be one, which is like the most libertarian thing ever. That would absolutely help Georgians, right? No minimum wage.
In a country in a state that literally had us working for free.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, so that's how that went. It was
Chick-fil-A bad. Out there looking for volunteers.
Yeah, why don't you just like work for free and we'll give you references to like.
We'll give you 2 chicken sandwiches.
Yeah.
No, only
on a discount.
Only rich people can afford. Internships. Sorry, I'm waiting for my yerba mate to kick in. Sorry, it's still a little groggy.
Yeah. Anyway. So that was that. It was a disaster. It was awful. And I'm pretty sure Herschel Walker's gonna win.
Nah,
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Look, man.
I mean, I'm not saying like
Heisman winner.
Go out and vote. Like everybody in Georgia needs to go. We do have like a nice little fan base in Georgia. Like everybody in Georgia needs to go out and vote.
Yeah.
For sure. The same thing we were talking about off air about Fetterman. Like your tweeting and posting is not a vote. The only thing that is a vote is a vote. So please just go out and vote. And I'm not saying this is the argument we have especially with federal elections, like presidential elections every 4 years. I don't care if you're like the most, anarchist, mutual support, like the system is rigged, the 2-party system is a joke.
It's all right.
It's all true. It's all true. But at the end of the day, these are things that happen in our shared reality. So like we can be totally fight the system and the system doesn't work and everything is garbage and it's all a rigged game, but it is still a game that happens. So just for 5 minutes, go hit the button and then just go back to being anti-establishment. Like just do that. That's all you got to do. It's not. These people are we're asking for a vote to not let the worst people in America make decisions about the most vulnerable people's lives in the country. So just go out and hit the button. It's not that big a deal. We're not asking for like your soul. You're not signing allegiance to the Democratic Party. You're just hitting a vote. And I understand the argument, and I can kind of talk out both sides of my mouth on this because I was definitely going back to Bernie. Like I was definitely a Bernie or buster, but I never was going to be bust no matter what. I was always going to vote, and especially it's easy to say that here in Louisiana.
Yeah.
But the thing is, so like I said, to play devil's advocate, I understand why people feel that way about voting, because with the average person, a working person doesn't have money. So these people care about, campaign contributions and funding to win their next election. So we don't have that. The only thing that we can withhold from them is a vote. So I understand why you don't want to give them a vote. So we need to figure out how we can completely change the political system to make it so you don't feel like your vote's being held hostage every 2 and 4 years. But we also need to be voting while we're doing that, while we're working that out.
I mean, not voting.
Just withholding the vote is
it ain't going to do nothing. They're not going to say, well, actually, this election doesn't count because not enough people voted or whatever.
Right, exactly.
Like, they're never going to do that.
You got it.
Yeah.
Nice long-winded spiel. Yeah. And then,
all
concise.
Right. So, really quick on that point, midterm elections are coming up. So download the Go Vote app. November 8th is when when election day is. Early voting begins October 25th. This election cycle will determine who will represent the state in the U.S. Senate, House of Representatives, judges for Court of Appeals, Municipal Traffic Court, and City Clerk. There are also several critical amendments on the ballot, and find out all the candidate and proposed amendments by downloading the free mobile app Go Vote. That's GEAUXVOTE. We'll see at the polls Tuesday, November 8th. Also, again, early voting starts October 25th. Another community service reminder from the station dedicated to human rights and social justice, 102.3 WHIV. Nice. So yeah, on that point. On a different point, actually, I want to change subjects kind of dramatically. So there was actually something really exciting that happened in this city today.
Ooh,
so Lowe's, the blue,
I know that place.
The blue hardware store as opposed to the orange hardware store.
The orange one's real bad. The blue one's only marginally bad.
I mean, they're both giant corporations, so
but one at least gives me a 10% veterans discount.
Oh, nice.
One at least hires a trans woman as the face of the company.
I remember one time when I went to Lowe's.
One doesn't give money to Donald Trump's campaign.
I remember one time when I went to a Lowe's, and this was very funny. They had a special veterans, it was Veterans Day, and it was a very special veterans sit-in place with flags and chairs and garlands and stuff around it. It was really weird. It was kind of I don't know. It was in a parking spot.
I had one guy try to pull my card because I parked in the veterans parking spot. He's like, "What were you in?"
Oh yeah.
I'm like 99 to 03.
Dude. The idea of veterans parking spots is very funny to me.
3rd Marine Battalion, what's up?
That is hilarious to me. The idea of that. I mean, it's a little funny, right? You think?
I mean, it's dumb, but I'm gonna park there.
No. I mean, definitely park there.
It's silly. I'm gonna park there though.
I mean, I do love the idea of somebody checking to make sure you're not stealing valor.
I mean, when you pull up in a Prius, I think he's well, this guy's stolen valor. No veteran would ever drive a Prius, and I'm like, this guy doesn't know the military. Yeah, he was in something. I think he was in the nasty army.
It would be the perfect crime to just park in a veteran's parking spot if you're not a veteran.
Pregnant lady spot.
Wow,
pregnant one? I don't care.
Got him.
But I was just I like Lowe's because they give me 10% off, except on major appliances, which makes me very mad because I just had to buy a refrigerator the other day.
Yeah,
and it made me mad. I'm like, I don't get my 10%. What?
Yeah, but messed up.
Yeah, Lowe's is not as bad as Home Depot, but they're both
yeah, they're both giant corporations. I mean, it is what it is. But Lowe's workers in New Orleans have actually filed a petition to unionize, and they are the first, or they will be the first unionized location.
What location is this? So I can make sure to go to that one.
I believe it's let's read. We got an article actually written up in Truth Out. Lowe's workers in New Orleans petitioned to form company's first ever union. So this is exciting. Lowe's workers in New Orleans have filed a petition to unionize, seeking to become the first unionized locations in home improvement companies' 1,723 U.S. stores. We're number one.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah.
The filing, according to the filing posted by the NLRB, The union would cover 172 workers at the store, including sales associates and those on fulfillment, merchandising, and receiving duties. Workers are unionizing under the name Lowe's Workers United, according to the filing. It's unclear if this is an independent union or if it's affiliated with an established labor union. I've actually got information on that. It's independent.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If it is independent, the Lowe's workers will join a growing number of workers who have successfully unionized at companies like Amazon or Trader Joe's under an independent union effort. This is an interesting question that, like, I don't know. So Amazon Labor Union is independent, right? They're not associated with any of the major unions that are in the country right now. They're totally independent. And I think, like, what that has done has started to kind of get like having a ripple effect where other unions are going independent as well, which, it could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. At least people are organizing, I guess you could say. But, like, in terms of, like, getting resources and coordination to these, sites and to these workers, I think being independent might be, like, a little bit of a limitation. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a little bit, like, too hive-minded on this kind of thing, too. It's like, we want to bring unions, like the labor movement in America is already too fractured, and we need to have a little bit more coherency. But anyway, the company already appears to have hired union-busting lawyers from law firm Barnes and Thornburg.
Oh, so I guess you're right. They're not that great.
They all do union busting. Union busting, as we know, is disgusting as well. Those who are listed as legal counsel for the company on the union filing. Indeed, the company has had a history of opposing unions. A training video made by the company that has circulated the internet for a number of years contains multiple anti-union talking points and encourages managers to call internal labor hotline if there is unionizing activities among the employees.
Snitch line?
Yeah, snitch line.
Oh.
Love it.
Busters.
Yeah, it's just that's America, baby. That's how it is. If the company doesn't voluntarily recognize the union, which is reasonable to assume it will not, at least 30% of eligible workers must sign a union card in order to qualify for a union election conducted through the NLRB. So the process would be they petitioned. Lowe's has the opportunity to say, okay, you get your union. Or if they say no, then you have to get 30% of cards signed. You basically have to bring union cards to 30% of the members or the workers. If they can get that threshold, they can essentially get the NLRB to trigger and commission an election where the workers can vote up or down, you want a union or not. Data shows that workers at Lowe's home improvement stores are often paid low wages. According to the Economic Policy Institute, about half of Lowe's workers are paid less than $15 an hour, especially here where the minimum wage is $7.25 still. Dude, you know how long minimum wage has been $7.25 here?
Yeah, but what's the actual... I don't want to be that guy, but it's just like... Yeah. Obviously, we're on the same page here, but what's the actual pay? Because they're not getting paid $7.25.
Other research...
It's probably like... I bet you it's like 12.
Yeah. Other research has found that...
But not that's good. That's not good.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't actually know this. Other research has found that in 2020, the median salary for full-time retail workers in chain was a mere $24,000 or $11.50 an hour.
$11.50. That sounds right.
The minimum wage in New Orleans is $13.25. I didn't know there was a local minimum wage. They can't enforce that, right?
So minimum wage is that as an employee of the city of New Orleans.
Yeah, so
that's contractors and also federal. Not federal. You know what I'm saying? City workers.
The city of New Orleans cannot implement a minimum wage that private companies would have to follow.
It's only for city employees and contractors.
Yeah,
of city employees.
A living wage for New Orleans, even for a single adult with no children, is $16.30. This is written by Truth,
which is actually I don't know, just a little more clarity. Which is actually really good, even though it can be enforced. So what it's saying is, if the city contracts with whatever company to fix City Hall, right?
Yeah.
Well, that company cannot pay their workers for that job.
Yeah.
$7 an hour. They have to pay them the city minimum wage.
Yeah. Well, what ends up happening in these sorts of situations, and this is why we need to focus also not just on local politics, but on statewide politics, is because, like, in addition to there being So when a city passes an ordinance that that can be perceived as under the state purview, the state can do something called statewide preemption. This is something that happened when in Austin. The city council, this is working from memory and this is from some time ago, but the city council in Austin passed a paid sick leave ordinance, basically requiring companies in the city to provide sick leave for workers, which is like a good thing. And the state legislature basically said, and that's something, statewide preemption is something that exists in a lot of states, including Louisiana, which is why, we can't just say, the city council in New Orleans, if they were so inclined to do so, can just set a $15 minimum wage, which is just like messed up. Anyway, that's just to say that like this article is written by Truth Out, so it's not like a local situation, so they might get a thing or two wrong about the local stuff. So the minimum wage in New Orleans for contracted, or city workers or people contracted by the city is $13.25 an hour is what I'm trying to get at. A living wage for New Orleans, even for a single adult with no children, is $16.32 an hour, according to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology's living wage calculator.
With no children, right?
That is for a single adult with no children. $16.32 an hour.
That's still not enough. I'm telling you.
You need at least $22 an hour, I think.
Yeah, that's not enough with... Okay, so our public transportation is, first thing I'm thinking about is rent.
Yeah.
No,
it's going up.
Second thing I'm thinking about is like transportation costs. Like we do not have good public transportation here in the city. And we're also like the second highest city in the United States of insurance costs.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like my insurance went down from, I was a 40-year-old man paying $200 a month, like $189, and I finally got it down to like 75 by switching companies.
It's bananas.
Yeah, so there's no way that 16 something is livable.
Yeah, unless you just don't have a car.
You have to you don't have a car, and then you're living.
You have to bike.
You're living the Bywater dream of like a shotgun with 3 other roommates.
And then
it's livable.
And you walk to work or whatever.
Yeah.
Salaries of unionized Lowe's workers are unclear. However, Lowe's was among the companies that spent more on stock buybacks than on worker raises in 2021. That's not remarkable. Every corporation does that. They just buy their stocks back and just pay off all their executives who own stock in the company, and workers just get nothing. They spent $13 billion on stock buybacks. That's cool. The filing comes on the heels of a recently announced union drive at another home improvement equipment store. Last month, workers for a Home Depot in Philadelphia, I didn't know about this one, Home Depot in Philadelphia filed to unionize under an independent union named Home Depot Workers United.
Stick it to Home Depot. Let's go.
If workers are successful in their union election slated for November 2nd and 5th, vote in November, folks, they will become the first to form a union within the company. Yeah, Vince Queals, one of the lead organizers in the Home Depot, expressed solidarity with the Lowe's union in a tweet on Thursday. Let's read the tweet.
Do it.
Let's read the tweet. Let's go.
That's what we do here.
We love to read tweets. Hey, this is Vince Queals, Quiles? Quiles? Quiles?
We scroll the internet so you don't have to.
Yeah. Hey, I know these guys.
You can do productive things because we're taking care of the doom scrolling for you.
F that orange and blue S. We're team worker. Congrats, y'all. Solidarity.
Nice.
I love it.
Yeah, Home Depot. If Lowe's is not with it, Home Depot definitely ain't with the ish.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
They are as conservative of a company as it comes.
I mean, they're out of Atlanta. What do you expect?
I mean, they gave, I don't know. I mean, I expect better, to be honest. Unless they want another visit. They want to I'll go dig up Sherman. And you visit from Sherman's Ghost, and let's just raise it again. I expect better from Atlanta, to be honest. I like as much as we're here in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Atlanta's like our little baby. You
got to dunk in Atlanta every chance you get.
I like Atlanta though.
Come on.
There's good public transportation.
There is good public transportation.
As a metroplex, I like it. It's very. I don't want to be it's. I don't want to say when I say diverse, I'm not talking about people, but I mean you can get. It's everything there because it's just a big metroplex.
There's a lot of museums
one side of the city is completely different from the other side.
There's a lot of museums in Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Atlanta. I'm a fan. I don't know. I have good feelings about Atlanta because I went to the '92 Olympics. Or whatever, as a kid.
That was 96, right?
Whatever, dude. It wasn't 96 Barcelona. Who cares?
92 was Barcelona.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, Atlanta was before Barcelona.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No,
I'm almost 100% sure.
Because professional basketball players did not play in Atlanta.
Yeah, they did.
Really?
That's where the Dream Team was.
No, the Dream Team was Barcelona for sure. Like, that was the first. You're out of your mind.
Atlanta 1996 Summer Olympics. That's when they built the Brave Stadium.
Okay.
Turner Field.
Now I'm curious. Who was the basketball team then? I don't know.
1996 Dream Team?
Who was the basketball team that played in the Atlanta Olympics?
Yeah.
Because the Barcelona one was definitely like, I remember, I mean, it was just such a cultural phenomenon. Like, Christian Laettner was the only college player.
Uh-huh.
And then had, like, everybody else. So what was the team in Atlanta?
I'm pulling it up right now.
All right, thank you.
All right. So, Charles Barkley, Penny Hardaway, Grant Hill, Akeem Olajuwon, Karl Malone, Reggie Miller, Shaq, Gary Payton, Scottie Pippen, Mitch Richmond, David Robinson, and John Stockton.
Man, I am having such a Mandela effect because, yeah, like you're saying, Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
If Shaq was on that team, and he played for Orlando,
yeah, that's when he was with Orlando.
That was after the original Dream Team was Barcelona.
Yeah.
So that means Barcelona was before Atlanta.
Yes, that's what I've been saying.
Nuh-uh.
Yes,
that's not what you've been saying.
I've been saying that Barcelona was 92 and Atlanta was 96. We'll go to the videotape or the audio tape.
Oh, never mind. In my mind, I feel young. I just feel like, I'm having it's Alzheimer's.
It's all right, man. They say the memory is the first thing to go.
I'm just having I feel like I was an older child watching the Barcelona Olympics than I was at the Atlanta Olympics.
Yeah, the lineup for 1992 was Laettner, Christian Laettner, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, Jordan, Clyde Drexler. Oh my God.
So cool, dude. He's like born old.
Yeah.
He's just like old coming out of the womb.
I love it.
Like, how old is your child? Oh, he's 60.
I mean, his name is Clyde. That's just like the coolest old guy name there is.
He was so cool. I loved him.
Stockton and Malone.
Hate them.
Why do you hate Stockton and Malone?
Well, one, bless my grandmother. Rest in peace, Grandma Letty. She'd be like, "Why does he wear them little shorts? All these men."
I like the little shorts.
He'd be like, "These men don't want to see that." He's like, just wear the
What, you scared
shorts.
of thighs? You scared of thighs?
Like,
what's going
on? To see that. And two, Karl Malone. I don't know where Karl Malone is from, but he spent too much time in Utah, and he's got that conservative brain rot. He's got the brain worms.
Oh yeah.
He's got his little gun garbage now, where he sells his little gun stuff.
That kind of rules, though, right?
He sucks, dude. You know,
He's from Summerfield, Louisiana.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That says so much. Like, Utah's such a good fit for him.
I don't even know where Summerfield is.
Exactly. I don't want to know.
Oh, it is like so North Louisiana.
It's almost like Arkansas.
It's like North Central Louisiana, like basically like right close to Arkansas.
I like Arkansas though.
Yeah.
But yeah, like over by your neighborhood, there's like is a gun store out there.
Oh yeah, on Airline.
And like you know what I'm talking about, the sign, like they have, like they sell the Karl Malone whatever he sells, little
He's got a branded gun
charms or
That's
something,
incredible.
little basketballs that you can stick on your gun. I don't know. Stupid.
A real shooter, huh?
Stupid garbage.
Yeah. Also, there was Chris.
You're rich. You're supposed to have people carrying that iron for you.
That's true.
Like, why are you carrying that thing?
When you're rich and you carry an iron like that, like you say, like that means that you're doing it for a purpose. It's a statement piece.
Trying to be.
It's like a ring or like a necklace or something, right?
Trying to flex on people.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Also, Chris Mullin, Charles Barkley, and Magic were on that team.
I just want to state, like, I'm pro-gun. Just like same thing with, like, I feel like gun culture and like weed culture are the same. Like, I'm pro-gun, I'm pro-weed, but like, can we just take it down a notch? Can we chill? That's what I'm saying.
No,
like,
nobody in America ever chills.
Dude.
Nobody in America ever chills, man.
Weed
That's just not how it
culture
works.
is cringe, and it's getting less cringe because of the legality.
Like,
so
when you say weed culture, is cringe, what do you mean?
Like, okay, let's say you want to go get let's say you want
like you talking about like 90s, like
no, I'm talking about 2023.
like Dr. Dre.
right now. Oh no, 2022 right now.
Okay. So can you give an example? Like what is the platonic like anti-platonic?
Let's say you gotta go. Let's say you're like, you know what, my cheap garbage dab pen just broke because it's cheap garbage imported from China, and you know I need a new one. Why do I have to, as a grown adult, not me personally, I don't do this, but I'm saying people I know, not in Minecraft, in real life, people I know, this is definitely not me, I do not do this, but why do they have to go to like, I just need, you know, a new pen to hit my, let's say CBD, to hit my CBD out of? Why do I have to go to 420 Smoke 'em Out, St. Charles Avenue, Cloud, Supreme Blunt Smoker?
Okay.
We're open.
I know what you're talking about now.
You know, other places are open 24/7. We're open 420.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Why?
Because
Why?
okay, so that is capitalism
So
injecting its evil roots into the idea of marijuana.
I disagree. As much as I hate capitalism, I disagree, because you go to places where marijuana has been legalized by the state, like Colorado, for example. It's boring. Like, the dispensaries are boring. Like, they're just like places you go in there and there's just like a weed sommelier, and he's just like, "What are you looking for, sir, madam?" And they're like, oh, they walk you through the process and be like, okay, I think this is too much for you. You should be doing this, blah, blah, blah. But you go to these places where it's like barely legal or just been legalized, and it's just like, man, come in here and just get blazed out, son. I'm just like, chill out. And gun places are the same way.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you want to
It's
own
just
a gun,
edgy.
that's
You
cool.
can cut yourself with that edge is what it is, you know? It's just like edgy stuff.
Why do I have to go to a place called like, you know, okay, I want a 9 mil. I just want a 9 mil because I got my concealed carry, and you know,
it's a brand.
It's like, cool, I'm by that. But like, why in Louisiana do I have to go to a place called like liberals graveyard?
Yeah.
To buy a gun.
Especially
why do I have to go to like liberals tier house?
Especially in Louisiana, where like guns are literally like everywhere. We have more guns in Louisiana than anywhere else.
I was just in Alabama. Alabama's the same way. Alabama's just like gun stores advertising. It's just like, this is like, don't come here. We make Joe Biden cry.
Yeah.
Every day that we're open. I'm just like, what are you talking about? I'm just trying to get some 9 mil plus P ammo, bro. I just want to go to the range and just fire off a couple rounds. Like, why does this have to be a thing?
We shoot liberals on site kind of signs.
Exactly. That's the name of the store. Liberals Graveyard. And it's just like, what on earth? And like, the one place when I was a cop, the one place in Chalmette is like a cool. They let you go shoot for free, so I go in there.
That's because Chalmette's actually chill.
Yeah, but I go in there, like, outside, completely chill. Inside, they'd be like, it's in there, it's just like paper targets of like Nancy Pelosi. I was like, why is this a thing? And I would really throw them off. So I would go in there, I would throw them off. I'd have a whole duty rig on. I would have my BDU pants with my boots on, and I remember I'd wear my like college for all Bernie shirt.
All right, here's
just going in there firing off rounds, and they would look at me like, oh,
here's an idea. Okay, this is an idea for the show. Okay, you ready for it?
Yeah.
What if we print it out? Like, if we got like, you know, we got some logos or whatever printed, and like our faces or whatever, we got them printed up as crosshairs and with our crosshairs on it, and sold them to our haters.
I would love that.
Let's do it.
I would love that so much. I tell you what, though, big props. If we're talking about gun culture, big props out to the guys that run the Honey Island Swamp range. These guys are just fuds.
Yeah,
they're just fuds, because it's the same thing. Like, going back to last week's show with the car racing, it's like, if you're already there, like, this is not an easy place to get to. Like, you literally have to go in the swamp and like go to this range. They already assume like, oh, one of us. So it's like you never get any heat. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter your gender. Like, I'm 100% sure like the most like genderqueer, like trans people, like trigger warning could have like a thing. Your trigger warnings like the LGBTQ gun club. They could go out to Honey Island Swamp and they would get no stress from the people, because they'd be like, oh, cool, gun, shoot a gun, you're here,
boom boom.
Yeah, they're like, you're one of us, I guess, you know. But Yeah, man, it's just cringe. It's just cringe, and I just can't wait till. I just want guns to be less cringe, and I just want when marijuana's fully federally legalized, it'll become less cringe.
Yeah, just know that like when you have like your enemies are like shooting paper targets of you, you've made it. Like you're significant at some kind of level. If you have haters that want to just like pretend to shoot you, that's a level that I want to be at.
It's like, I mean, it's just people with like no political acumen at all, and it's like obviously we're not. Not Hillary Clinton fans. I wish she would just, walk off into the woods forever and
disappear.
Never hear from her again. But that
Pokemon go away forever.
Absolutely. Like that gun store in Chalmette, though, literally had like Hillary Clinton, like we hate Hillary Clinton, like merch in there. And that was kind of, but I'm like, her husband was the governor of Arkansas.
Yeah.
They can't, I can count up the amount of guns that the liberal governor of Arkansas went for with zero hands.
I mean, like
zero.
And like again, he would like make a special trip to make sure that he would go to make sure that he could personally attend when he was the governor of Arkansas while running for president. He left the campaign trail to go personally attend a mentally mentally like
the execution.
Yeah, a mentally disabled person get executed. So like liberals or whatever, cool. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, I guess you got to have an enemy. Like your enemies have to be completely strong, because if you really look at it objectively, it's just like, well, then what are we so angry about? I mean, again, right wingers have all the right prescriptions. I mean, they have all the right analysis, but they just have the wrong prescriptions.
Yeah. So really quick, we are gearing up for our fall fundraising drive, but you don't have to wait. You can become a member right now. How do you do it?
Give till it hurts.
Give till it hurts. Give till it feels good. We are 100% volunteer run, and $10 a month could really help us continue to honor independent voices. This show wouldn't be around if not for the station, which is publicly funded by you. Help us shine the light on social justice and human rights issues and workers' issues. Visit us at WHIVFM.org to become a member today by clicking the support button. While you are there, visit our online store for cool swag, 102.3 WHIVFM. I got a pretty cool shirt. I also still have a fanny pack. I got a pretty dope fanny pack from there one time, which was pretty good.
Yeah, go ahead. You got more copy? Sorry.
No, that's it.
I was going to say, like, we could run it by the big man. We can run it by, Dr. Dairy. We used to have a cooler nickname. Like, we should be like, I don't know.
We got to work on it.
Something. We need like a wrestling, but we should run it. There's a hole in the market now for pixie dust supplements.
What is that?
Now that I'm just saying,
What's that?
like, now that Alex Jones Infowars is being dismantled.
Oh, we can sell Alpha Brain?
Yeah, we need to have WHIV branded like.
All right, what happened to Alex Jones?
Well, I mean, like, he got a judgment against him for almost $1 billion.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to sell. I mean, he's in bankruptcy, so who knows how much money he's gonna actually have. But he's just gonna have to sell fake supplements until he dies, I guess. But like, there's a hole in the market now for that, and I'm saying that we should sell our own supplements that don't work.
Yeah,
that aren't FDA, verified. Like, I mean, we've got a doctor on board. We can get the endorsement of a doctor.
Yeah,
and be like, he could hold a bottle of WHIV's brain power, force, and say this absolutely does not work, and it has no medical value.
But buy it anyway.
But buy it, and it'll make you feel good.
Yeah,
like, we just call it. We just call it placebo. We just call it placebo effect.
Yeah,
it'd be awesome, and that's how we're gonna like.
We should probably like brand
send this whole operation to the moon, dude.
What if we branded it like 420, blaze it up, we hate Nancy Pelosi, bang, bang, bang?
No, you got to get ahead of the curve. Like I said, that cringe is going away.
Okay,
we're in the last throes of cringe right now. Like, especially.
So what's the next cringe coming up then?
I don't know. What do people want to do that's like not socially, like, it's edgy to do? I don't know. What could be the next?
I don't know, man.
Cringe.
It's a problem because, like, when they start like rolling back these things, like the part of the reason that a lot of this weirdo culture probably developed around specifically like weed and stuff is because it was like technically illegal for a long time.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
like the aping of edginess, like actually had a little bit. Now while it's rolling back, you're seeing a lot of the cringe part kind of. But like, what is like the next thing that's like what is the next line you can sort of dance on? I guess I don't.
I mean, it would have
know.
to be some kind of. Let's see. If we're gonna think drugs, I don't know. Some kind of weird designer like.
I mean, definitely not fentanyl.
Fentanyl? I don't know.
It can't be fentanyl because, like, right now, people are just, like, cops are just freaking out about fentanyl being in, like, your Halloween candy or whatever.
We could do, like...
Or maybe that's what it is.
I don't know. It was, like, if we want to go full dark humor because, like, so many people are becoming unhoused because the system, the contradictions in capitalism are like, becoming more and more expressed. We could sell like stealth camping equipment so you could like camp out in your
like
van.
radar jammers and stuff.
No, like stuff that you'd be like, oh, I'm living in my van, but like you don't know I'm actually living in my van. NPR did a good thing a couple years ago about stealth camping, about how how bad it is in America that people are just like, oh, I can't afford to live, so now I'm just a nomad and like I park my van on the street and hopefully like how to like make it so people don't know I'm living in here. We could sell that kind of stuff. Anything that we can like import and sell at like a high price, like we could do. I'm trying to think. Like
you don't want to do Made in America?
No, I'm trying to make money, dude. Seriously, have you seen though? Honestly, I used to have well, and when I was in the Marine Corps, that they give you the Made in America New Balances.
Oh,
which
yeah.
I think is cool.
Yeah, we watched that video.
Yeah, those things are like $300.
Yeah. One time,
they're made by, like, union
just
labor.
to sort of circle
But they
back.
last.
Robert and I on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Good Morning Comrade Radio, about two weeks ago or so, watched a video of a bunch of like raw green recruits show up to the first day of boot camp, and we that was something that was that kind of like was wild to me, especially like all of the screaming. Like it seems like that's like something that would be in like Full Metal Jacket or whatever.
I mean,
it
is.
But like
they literally filmed that on Paris Island.
Well, they took it from they took that stuff, like they took the movie from reality, which is what?
No, reality. Kubrick made that movie,
and then the culture became
no.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh, never mind. I'm so sorry. I thought you were saying the opposite.
Yeah, like and essentially, like the entire everything that was happening in this this situation was just to destroy any kind of individual agency that these people had and break them down to like as low a level as they could possibly get. It seemed like to me.
No, that's not what it is. It's to be like, can you think and react under pressure? And so, like, to add
apply as much pressure as possible.
So it's supposed to be like, oh, you're at war all the time. So the idea is it's not to like frazzle your nerves, to be like, okay. And I don't know, for me, when
it's got to be traumatizing to every single person that's in there.
It was traumatizing for me because I wanted to be there. I was very much like gung ho. And so when I looked up to, I could tell you like my own personal like 19-year-old, I was 18 in boot camp. So my personal story is I was when they would yell at me, I thought, oh, if I do something wrong, I'm going to get yelled at, or I'm going to have to like do a zillion push-ups or whatever. So I try my hardest not to do anything wrong. And I'm like, these guys are coming down on me for like no reason.
They're gonna get you no matter what.
And it really affected me. Like it hurt me. And one day I just like broke down and like cried. And then after that, it was like done. So it worked. It did what it was supposed to do. I was just like, oh, like something broke, and I just didn't care anymore. And I was just like, yeah, there's nothing they can do to me that hasn't been done. And I just kept it moving. Right.
So like when we create the like leftist Marines or whatever, we're gonna have like trans drill sergeants like breaking down every.
Absolutely.
That's definitely happening, right?
I mean, you say that like as a joke, but big up to the Marine Corps. I don't know if they're still doing it, but they did do a quote unquote experiment where they did have 4th Battalion is nothing but that's where all like the female recruits go. Yeah. They did do integrated training for a cycle.
That's
so
cool.
They combined 4th Battalion with another like a male platoon. So they had integrated training, and they, like, everybody lived together. So it was like very Starship Troopers. I wonder what happened with that. Maybe I'll Google that.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's a Starship Troopers effect.
Right. It would have been weird. I don't think I could. I'd like having, because I would have felt like, man, these chicks, man, they're seeing me at my worst. Like I'd have felt some kind of way. Like around a bunch of dudes, I don't care. But
you thought crying in front of a bunch of dudes was bad.
Yeah, and then like, how are we doing? Like, how are we doing showers? I'm like, man, I don't know. Whatever, dude.
Ain't ready for that.
I personally am not ready. A 19-year-old me was not ready for that.
Yeah.
So a 41-year-old me could deal.
Probably handle it now.
Whatever. I've seen enough.
Yeah.
I've seen enough naked people. I'm cool. I don't care anymore.
You don't care?
Yeah, naked people don't do anything for me.
Yeah. I'm just like the idea of like, I don't know, a drill sergeant like yelling at a recruit about like getting pronouns right or something like that.
Oh,
like how that would just trigger the American right wing.
That's
like how they imagine that the military is now, right?
The first thing I can think of with like the integrated
like the
training is just some like all female drill instructors have that like slick back. They have that slick back uniformed hair with like the one tight bun in the back. And then they all are just like 5'6", like Latina, like Latinx women. And I just imagine some of these like 19-year-old boys getting yelled at by these women and getting some like, they're finding out about themselves. Let's put it that way. They're finding out like, about that. Hey, maybe I'm learning. I'm learning about myself.
A learning experience.
Maybe I won't. Maybe I just. Maybe when I make my rack, when I make my bed, maybe I'll just make a little mistake. Maybe I'll make it and see if she catches it.
Oh, God.
See if she catches it. You know?
All right, we got to get out of here. But, God, before you say anything else, we need to get out of here. But before we do, join Pearl Tuesday nights on WHIV as she probes the origins and progression of the blues. It's an eclectic excursion across musical sweet spots where soul, jazz, folk, and rock intersect and honor a true American art form. Blues Crusade, Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. on the station dedicated to human rights and social justice. WHIV 102.3 FM. We got Red and Russ coming in. Listen to us live. We love those guys.
It's been a pleasure, yo.
We are going to talk to you later. We love you. Bye-bye.